Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with an acclaimed singer-songwriter-musician, his name, Jordan DePaul, also known as LVRBOY. For more on Jordan, you can read more about him right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at the amazing talent of Jordan, also known as LVRBOY.
Ohio girls, there's just something different. Last time we were both in town, I almost reached out. I thought that I'd see you around. That's why I'm here now, at some dumb house party where I thought you'd be. Walked in with the girl I met in NYC. I thought I could love her and I know that she loves me. Honestly, Ohio girls, there's just something different. I know what I'm missing with all of these other girls. Always seem so distant, holding back when I kiss them. Won't go out, do a game on a Friday night. Oh, now they'll never get me like Ohio girls. There's just something different, so different, yeah. Looks so pretty with her suntan. She's so LA, but there's things she won't understand. Like all those Sundays we drive out just to see the Cincinnati Reds. Dave Matthews Band concerts at Post Gazette, and I wonder if those are things she'll ever get. Cause honestly, Ohio girls.
Well, hello, Jordan. How are you?
How's it going, Will?
I'm doing much better now that I'm speaking with you, and I'm so excited that the audience got a little sneak peek of your amazing talent with Ohio Girls, going back and doing a little throwback, and I believe your fourth grade girlfriend made an appearance. What's this all about, Jordan?
So basically, I wrote the song about like, girl. In my opinion, girls from Ohio are just different because they get me more because I'm from Ohio. And my fourth grade girlfriend's actually married, so I was like, I want somebody that I'm like still friends with to this day. That's like, it's not gonna be awkward. But I'm just like, hey, you're hot and you live in my hometown. Do you want to do you want to come be in a music video? It was more like, hey, I don't want to have to fake a connection with somebody. Like, we've been friends for whatever 20 years now. So I'm like, do you want to be in this music video? And she's like, yeah. And my cousin actually shot the music video.
All in the family, baby. Where'd you grow up in Ohio, Jordan?
Youngstown. So a little suburb outside of Youngstown called Poland, Ohio. Yeah, grew up there. Then I went to college at Youngstown State University, which is like 20 minutes from my hometown.
I love it.
Yeah,
Jordan, when did you realize that you had a musical talent?
Everyone always says, you know, I was singing since I was 2 years old, and like I was. But I think the first time I was probably 10 or 11, and I just started like writing like little songs. Like I started singing Italian arias. Kind of like started to get classically trained a little bit. And then I went to this like my mom brought me to like this little shop in the middle of like Poland, like a little like lessons. It was called Music Lessons for Us All. And I was like, my mom was like, hey, I want my son wants to take voice lessons. And they were like, well, he's not old enough. His voice hasn't changed yet. And like that happened like all throughout town. Like, no, he's not old enough yet. He's not old enough yet. And that was the last one. And my mom's like, well, just let him sing for you. And if like you guys still think that, then we'll just be on our way and we'll come back in 2 years or whatever. And they were like, okay, we'll take him on. So I started singing then. Then I started, yes, I guess that was like the first like time I was like, oh, people think I have a good voice.
I love it. And when did you decide that you wanted to take, you know, your talents into your own hands by creating LVRBOY? How did you come up with the stage name? And then I don't want to say persona, but I would just say, you know, your business, your music business.
Right. Well, it's been a lot of years leading up to that. So I think the first time I picked up an acoustic guitar, I was 14 or 15, because my cousin had a band in Ohio and they were doing really well. And I thought it was super cool that they were singing their own songs. So my cousin taught me 3 chords. I taught myself the rest. And then when their band broke up, I went to my cousin. I was like, hey, man, I have all these songs. Do you guys want to start a band? and he'll say to this day, he's like, I thought these songs were gonna be terrible, like absolutely horrendous. Um, and then he was like, these aren't like half bad. And we had a band like from ages like 15 to 21, I think. We like opened for the Goo Goo Dolls and Eve Six, all these like big 90s bands. Um, and then I moved to Nashville in 2013 because I always knew that I wanted to come here because in Youngstown, Ohio, everyone tells you you're good, you know? And I knew that like if I came to Nashville and they would tell me I was bad. So I started doing like the whole like Americana country thing because I thought I had to under my name, Jordan DePaul. And I have a bunch of music out still under that. That's still doing pretty well actually. But then I moved to New York for 2 years. And there I kind of like reclaimed my love for pop music. Just sat in my apartment and wrote songs a bunch. Then I did move there for a girl, and when we broke up, my like me coming back and forth, the commute back and forth between Nashville and New York was so like I was twice a month sometimes. So I was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm gonna move back to Nashville. And then I got back here. I was like, man, I still don't really know what I want to do. I was the first like 6 months I was here. I was like writing every day with different people in like the pop community here. And then I was like, I just nothing's clicking for me. And then I wrote with my now best friend. It was the day we met, and his name's Struan. He has an artist project here too, and he's awesome. We wrote this song called "Change My Mind," which is in my catalog. It's out on Spotify and iTunes, Apple Music, all that stuff. And I was like, this is what I want everything to sound like. This is like a great bass. I'm like, everything needs to like coincide with this sound.
You found your North Star. And what I
Right.
love so much, Jordan, is that you went through life and moved through the pain, the dis-ease, the conflict on your terms. And it was from that you came out really, I think, understanding your bliss. And it seemed like it was an aha moment, but it took a lot of years of
Oh yeah.
you doing the work both artistically and personally.
Yeah. And I think so once we wrote that song, it was literally the next day, I think, I said to my producer, I was like, dude, I want to do a side project. I want to call it LVRBOY. I want it to be like super hopeless, romantic, and sad. And he goes, dude, that's who you are already. He goes, but I love the way you're packaging it. Let's do it.
And I just
So
even love the way that you write it with the cat. You know, it's just like, again, it's your version of the lover boy, you know, character that we have in our head.
yeah, for sure. I wanted a name like what said what I sound like without even listening to my music.
I
And
love that. I
that's
love
kind of where
that.
that all came about.
That's amazing, Jordan. Now, listen, obviously, these past 18 months have been tough for everyone, but especially artists. And I'm
For sure.
curious to know what you're most optimistic about moving forward.
Man, and this kind of goes back to like a bunch of people hated the pandemic. A bunch of artists hated the pandemic. A bunch of people kind of like, which I think a way of coping with it, either way, there's no right way. For me, I look forward to the future because I get to play all these songs that I wouldn't have released otherwise. Like when the pandemic hit, I had two or three songs out, and now I have 19 songs out, and I have another one coming out next week, and then I have another one coming out in November, and then all these songs that like, not only did I get to share them with the world, but me as a songwriter now, I feel so confident in my craft and like my artistry. And like I'm excited for the world to open back up and like share what happened during the pandemic.
Well, I also love that, Jordan, too. You obviously took this awful time, but you seem like the type of person who, again, did the work and continues to do the work as a person and an artist to wake up every day and make the choice to look for the possibility, to look
Right.
for the light in the dark. And I just love that you took this opportunity, made the choice to create. And now as the world starts to open up and as you start releasing one by one, I'm so excited that we're now connected and that also the world is going to be able to slowly but surely get what was going on in that heart and head during this awful time. And, you know, I'm grateful that you took the time today to speak with me.
Man, thanks for having me.
Well, I want to let our audience know for more on the incredible Jordan, aka LVRBOY. You can read more about him right below this video. Jordan, thanks again.